Hi, how are you? How have you been? Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Breezy's back. Breezy's back. Breezy's back. Hey guys, it's Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. I am your hostess with the mostest, Kim Brown. Of course, you guys know Burn It Down with Kim Brown is a safe space where we set oppression ablaze in the hopes and beliefs and knowledge in our hearts that something better will arise from the ashes. I'd like to say hello and welcome and thank you all so much for joining us here today on this semi-glorious spring, Tuesday in May. We are fresh back from our vacation, had a nice week off. Kind of. I'm pretty sure all of us here on the Burn It Down with Kim Brown crew had like other shit to do, so maybe it didn't necessarily feel like a vacation, but we just didn't have a show last week. But I know a number of you came to hang out with me and the crew of the Remix Morning Show on the Black Power Media channel over yonder, so I appreciate seeing some familiar faces. Last week during my time on the morning show, and I'll be back with those good people tomorrow and Thursday. So join us for the Remix Morning Show. Wait, hold on, goddammit. Let me queue up. I'm trying to get in the chat, for fuck's sake. I'm all late. I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. But you know, guys, in watching stuff from last week, did I already do something wrong, guys? Okay, thank you very much. I will check that out. Thank you, Tunde. First of all, how's everybody doing? How was y'all's week last week? Depending on where you are on the globe, we're depending on where you are in the country. I know most of us are enjoying a sort of below average temperature sort of spring here, at least on the East Coast. It is chilly. I am in long sleeves in May, which is interesting. But no, it is not yet busted up warm good, which is part of the reason why the cicadas are creeping out. They are not pouring out by the billions, as has been predicted by entomologists and just lay people everywhere. Like they said, the cicadas are going to be out here by billions. Not yet. It's still pretty quiet in my neighborhood. I know people are already starting to see some cicadas around the way, but that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, gang, hold on. Let me get in here with y'all. See, now the dogs are all riled up. Listen, if this is your first time joining us, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, please, because we are young and we are new to these YouTube streets, right? So we are trying to get our numbers up as best we can. So it would really mean a lot if you were to hit a like and a subscribe, because you know there's still some haters out here lurking around hitting us with some dislikes. I said, nigga, the audacity. Are you not familiar with the caliber of program that we present to you here at Burning Down with Kim Brown? You better hit that thumbs up, chief, and stop faking on some bullshit. But listen, gangs, talk about faking on some bullshit. If you, like me, were laid off during the pandemic, happen to lose your primary place of employment, and signed up for unemployment benefits, well, depending on where you are located across this less than glorious Los Estados Unidos, right? Your federal supplementary shit, which is, I think, lovely and awesome and a great piece of policy that we seldom get on a regular basis from the United States federal government, depending on where you are, that shit could be getting rolled back real soon. And because the jobs report that came out for April, some have interpreted as people are refusing to go back to work. And it's less that people so much are refusing to go back to work. People are refusing to go back to work in the pre-pandemic conditions that they faced in 2019. And in addition to COVID-19 sort of compounding already existing bullshit about going into work, about what happens when you get sick at work, about what happens when you don't have a job that offers you health insurance and benefits. What happens when you get sick at work at a job that does not offer you health care? These are questions that people, not to say that people didn't already have these questions existing pre-COVID, but these are questions that people are like, now, wait a second. Like, I'm sorry, you want who to go where? To what? Out in the Lord, they're trying to send people back to work out here, y'all. And mind you, the pandemic is still pandemicking like a motherfucker, right? Hold on. Damn it. Thank you. The pandemic is still pandemicking like a motherfucker, right? I mean, it's pandemicking less, but at the same time, it's not all clear out here. Are we clear on that? Yes, I understand that infection rates, hospitalization rates, a lot of metrics are now looking more favorable now that more people, and I believe the number is it half of American adults, close to half of all US adults have received at least one vaccination, one dose of the vaccination. And now, of course, we've all heard that the approval for 12 to 15-year-olds is going to be a go. So they're trying to get as many people vaccinated out here as possible. But there are still a large number of people out here unvaccinated. In addition, mask mandates being lifted, capacity rates being lifted. So people are reluctant, especially in the job sectors, in the food service industry, in retail, where you're dealing with a high volume of people face to face. Now these motherfuckers is maskless and ain't gonna be now workers can't even tell them in some places to wear masks. Come on. But anyway, y'all's boy. Okay, I'm in the chat now. Who we got? What we got? Oh, okay, we got a nice little crew up in here. What's going on? Who up in this joint? Everybody's up in here. Wonderful. I see Pimp C, Courtney the SLP up in here. We got Ursula. What's up, Raina? What's up? Chuck Diesel? Who else we got here? What's up, Anna Hart? What's up, Nick? Oh, Nick is in here. And Natalie A. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chuck Diesel. Yes, tell the people to hit that thumbs up, man, because we got some haters in the streets. Unfortunately, the haters are not showing up today, and we're gonna keep their bitch asses out of here. Now, that's just my opinion. But anyway, getting back to the topic at hand. Oh, wait. Before we even start the topic at hand, so y'all see, this is a solo sesh day. And as you see, I am not smoking no tree. But hold on. Oh, did I grab the wrong fucking bottle? God damn it. Never mind. We might hit a timeout. we might do a halftime so I can run to my drawer and go grab my little gummies. And these are not just average ordinary gummies. These are gummies that have been sitting in fucking THC. They've been swimming in them joints for like a month. And so they're very, very potent. And I've had a couple, not today, but I've had a couple since procuring them, and I endorse them firmly. Yes. What's up, Rain Desud? What's up, Queen of the South? What's up, Mama? What's up, D-Will? Look, we got everybody up in here today. Hey, oh shit. Shanette came in this joint, went under her real name. Shanette said, mask, oh, fuck it. I'm telling everybody who I am up in this joint. That's what's happening, Shanette. But listen, hold on. Now, I said about the unemployment benefits, right? How a number of Republican governors have said, I mean, it is so fucking ridiculous and shameful. For example, I think it was Governor Kay Ivey today. Now, I always get Mississippi and Alabama confused, so bear with me. And I know people from Mississippi and Alabama probably do not appreciate that, and I'm very apologetic about that. But I say, sir, Kay Ivey, whichever one, she's governor of Mississippi or Alabama, she came out and said, or they came out and said that they plan on refusing to accept the federal supplemental unemployment insurance benefits for their state effective June 19th, which is about, a month away. Horrific. Because according to them, business owners are complaining that they have all these job openings and nobody to fill them. Why? Because Joe Biden is paying people to stay home. Well, let's listen to what Joe Biden had to say about this, actually. Joe Biden addressed the press early in the day, of course. But he addressed this very specific critique that is being laid at him, not only from Republicans, but I guess the business community, maybe even some Democrats. I don't know. Like, who is telling Joe Biden that that he's paying people to stay home? Which, hello, is exactly what the fuck should be happening. We are still in the pandemic, people. I can't stress enough. Like, I get that all the numbers on the COVID front are improving and looking better, but we are still very much in uncharted territory. This is still a virus that we do not know how this virus is going to behave. We do not know the extent of what vaccine immunity offers in terms of duration of immunity. Like, we don't know how this shit's going to affect, kids under the age of 12. Like, I mean, in terms of the vaccine, but then, I mean, there's still so many unknowns that it's kind of odd for like all these concrete decisions to be like laid out right now, when we still fully don't understand what the end of COVID is going to look like, or even best, I guess, when the end of COVID could possibly be. Because herd immunity, let the niggas on TV tell it, does not seem to be likely because so many people do not want to get the vaccine. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's listen to what President Joe Biden, y'all's president, all y'all voted for Joe Biden. I know I'm talking to Biden support. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. I know y'all didn't vote for no goddamn Joe Biden. If you did, it's because you ain't have no other choice. You lived in Pennsylvania, Michigan, or someplace crazy, and you had to. I get it anyway. Joe Biden, everybody, addressed the country yesterday, and he was he answered. This is his answer when asked about, is he paying people to stay home, and are the federal unemployment benefits too generous to disincentivize people to get out and work today? If we could please listen to that bitch ass nigga Joe Biden.
We're going to make it clear that anyone collecting unemployment who is offered a suitable job must take the job or lose their unemployment benefits. There are a few COVID-19 related exceptions, so that people aren't forced to choose between their basic safety and a paycheck. But otherwise, that's the law. I know there's been a lot of discussion since Friday's report, that people are being paid to stay home rather than go to work. Well, we don't see much evidence of that. That is a major factor. We don't see that. Look, it's easy to say, the line has been, because of the generous unemployment benefits, that it's a major factor in labor shortages. Americans want to work. Americans want to work. As my dad used to say, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity, your place in the community, being able to look your kid in the eye and say everything's going to be okay. I think the people who claim Americans won't work, even if they find a good and fair opportunity, underestimate the American people.
Well, I think that the business community and perhaps corporations are underestimating the American people because, Joe, contrary to what that bullshit you just said to us about, a job is about more than a check. Let me explain something to you, Chief. most people would prefer not to be working. And I don't mean that most people would prefer not to take care of themselves or to take care of their family or to take care of their responsibility. I mean, there are ways that you can do all of those things without having to go into a corporation and punch a clock, right? And sign up to have your labor undervalued and exploited, right? But a job for most people is exactly that. It is a paycheck. And it's not so much that, people don't feel pride in their work, Joe Biden. It's the fact that people are working way too hard, way too long for far too little. The wage in the United States, sir, is still $7 and some change. The federal minimum wage in the United States is horrible. And if Joe Biden is interested in people to resume to work, perhaps he and the democratically controlled Congress need to work a little bit harder on pushing that $15 hour minimum wage, which, if you saw the trending topics over the weekend, $25 an hour was trending on Twitter over the weekend, because that is a living wage. And if you guys have been seeing these awesome, fuck you, we quit signs at fast food restaurants, these photos that have been going viral, hey, the whole staff at Wendy's said, fuck this shit, we out. Why? Because Wendy's ain't paying us. Wendy's ain't giving us our proper PPE. Wendy's. I'm not just saying, y'all get what the fuck I'm saying. But that shit is awesome. We are seeing workers seize control of their own destiny in ways that maybe we haven't seen in a while. But I want us to take a peek, actually. So I found packages from two places. One, Utah, the other, the Gulf Coast, Alabama. This particular TV station covers Pensacola area, Mobile area, but they're based in Alabama. And both Utah and Alabama are among a handful of a growing number of states now whose governors are either refusing the federal unemployment, the additional money, or who are considering it. And I want you all to pay attention to the slant, of course, that the local news is giving us here. It is pro-business. It never, okay. Let me try. No, fuck the fam. I'm not, let me, y'all will be able to discern what is what. Once we run it, I will come back and point out the fuckery that I see. And you all can please fill me in on the fuckery that you see. Today, if we could please, the one that I believe says KSL News. This is out of Salt Lake City. It's wide out there. It's wide out there. So wide. Wide all night. It's not just white in Utah. I know that. I know it's lots of our brown brothers and sisters, our indigenous brothers and sisters out there. But when I think of Utah, I think white than a motherfucker. And that's not necessarily a diss. That's just an observation. But Tunde, KSL News, this is a package, I believe, from within the past week, because the Republican governor in Utah is considering refusing the federal supplementary unemployment monies. Again, amazing how Joe Biden and all these Republican governors seem to end up on the same page at the end of the day, right? Joe Biden and Kamala are going to find a way to be in agreement and to be in unison with the Republicans somehow, whether or not it's America's not a racist country, or if it's y'all lazy motherfuckers need to get y'all asses back to work. God damn it. Signed, Joe Kamala in the GOP. Tunde, if we could please take a check-in from Salt Lake City, Utah.
There are about 28,000 Utahns on unemployment right now, but some business owners say it's impossible to hire.
So I've been in this business here for almost 20 years, and this is the worst I've ever seen it by far.
Ryan Riley owns 2 Del Taco locations and has been boosting pay, but still can't cover all the shifts. He even takes orders himself at the drive-thru. Yesterday, he had to close both restaurants because he didn't have enough employees. He said the entire hiring process is extremely frustrating.
It's also scary. You know, it creates a whole new dynamic as far as the economics of running a business.
And here in Utah, our unemployment's at 2.9%, the lowest in the nation.
Sunday on CNN, Governor Spencer Cox said jobless benefits are keeping people from returning to the workplace.
And the biggest problem we have right now in the state of Utah are finding workers for the jobs that are available. And as we talk to workers, we found that it actually is a disincentive.
The governor said Friday's disappointing jobs report is a result of the enhanced unemployment checks.
It is a terrible jobs report, not what we were expecting at all, but that's what happens when we pay people not to work. Now, again, there are families that are struggling. We want to help them out, but at some point we have to roll that back.
There are 3 unemployment programs Utah opted into: the weekly $300 boost, benefits for gig workers, and the extra weeks of payments. 3 states, Arkansas, Montana, and South Carolina, have already said they are going to end those federal enhancements because they don't have enough workers. There are about 20.
Interesting there. That's from KSL News out in Utah. Lateef, thank you so much for your support. Honey, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. I see Paul BXOG in the chat. Holy shit. We ain't seen that nigga forever. What's up, Microsoft Word technical support? Yeah, I just got to say what's up. Shout out everybody. But no. Okay, so y'all see what time it is out there in Salt Lake City. But again, all you heard was from the restaurant owner. You didn't hear from any of his workers or any sort of a representative or spokesperson from an organization representing workers, right? Tunde, before we go to that clip in Alabama, there is a article, and the article says it's from SF Gate, San Francisco Gate. And it says line cooks are the highest risk of dying from COVID, says UCSF study. Pop that up for me, please. Ladies and germs, this study was done by some smart people. And this was published earlier this year, 2021. And what the University of California at San Francisco found, the study that they did, is that food and agricultural workers are at the highest risk of death from COVID-19 among working age Californians. They studied working Californians. They said that they found that even out of food and agricultural workers, even when you factored in construction laborers and even nurses, the occupation, according to this study in California, who is more likely to die from contracting COVID-19 are line cooks. People who work in restaurants, people who work in food establishments, who are cooking the food, maybe not even coming into face-to-face contact with a lot of the public, but they are the last source, I guess the last end of the line when it comes. And then the line cook, because the service person has to deal with the customer and the cooks, and the line cooks, according to this UCSF study, are the category of workers who have perished the most from COVID-19. And it's not a coincidence to me that the restaurant industry is having the most difficult time trying to staff these positions, despite the fact that some of these workers, or pardon me, these owners say that they are raising wages. Well, are you giving your workers health care? Like there is a lot of risk to be assumed to returning to the workplace, regardless of whether or not you're vaccinated, right? And that this to me is where I think a lot of the discussion is about uncharted territory with the vaccinations is sort of valid, because the vaccination don't say you can't get COVID. The vaccination says that chances are you are not going to die from COVID, right? The vaccination says if you get hospitalized, you may not have to go on a ventilator. Like COVID may not fuck you up, but COVID can absolutely still fuck you up, vaccinated or no. Correct? Like we are all on the same page with this. We all understand this, right? So even if food service workers, restaurant workers, retail workers are fully vaccinated, there's still a risk of contracting COVID, and you can still transmit COVID, right? So when we're dealing with half of the country refusing to get vaccinated, or at least reluctant, but we can say a solid third of them Bamas ain't never gonna get the vaccination, right? Like, oh God, I can't, y'all, I cannot. And I know there's some vaccine reluctant people amongst our family members here today, but I'm here to tell y'all, I already told y'all about polio. Y'all motherfuckers don't know nobody with polio under the age of 50. I'm gonna go one further with y'all about the vaccinations. How many people do y'all know who have contracted tuberculosis? Now, I'm not saying that people out here don't get tuberculosis, but if we were to look in the not so distant past, right? In the scheme of things, I mean, 100 years is not really a long time in the blink of Earth and the universe's existence. But you guys, I mean, tuberculosis used to fuck people up by the thousands. I mean, seriously, all the haunted TV shit that I watch on a travel channel, some of the places where these Bamas go do investigations are sanitariums, right? Places where tuberculosis patients pretty much went to die by the thousands. How many people do y'all know out here dying of tuberculosis in the United States in 2021? Very few. Hello? Herd immunity, vaccinations, there is absolutely a correlation here. So, but my point about you can still get COVID even after being vaccinated, that is the reason why more people need to go get vaccinated. Like the way that tuberculosis and polio have pretty much evaporated by and large from our society, COVID could do the same thing if everybody got with the program. But since it has been very clear that there are significant numbers of people who absolutely refuse to get with the program, I understand why workers are treating this shit accordingly. Okay. And it is extremely shitty for governors, Republican or Democrat, but from my understanding, this is all Republican governors who have taken these steps to end the federal subsidy, basically, of the unemployment supplemental benefit of $300. Y'all, I'm getting that federal $300 every week. And let me tell you something. Bravo. Okay. You know, I have been too harsh with the Biden administration. I'm just kidding. I have not been harsh enough with the Biden administration. And at the same time, yes, that $300 a week, I fucks with it. I fucks with it very hard. Thank you. Yes. But you know what? Is it a government handout? Nope. And I'm going to tell you why it's not. You know why, bitch? Because I paid for that joint. I've been paying on my unemployment insurance ever since I have been working, which has been many years ago. So listen, kids, don't ever feel bad about taking any fucking thing from the federal government, because guess what? Chances are you paid into it already. Somebody in your family already paid into it and forward. And even if you never paid into it, that's still yours, especially if you black, brown, and indigenous. Y'all know how we feel about that shit. Anyway, Sunday, let's go to Alabama, where their Bama ass governor is being exceptionally cruel to people in Alabama, which, by the way, was hit very hard by COVID. Black people in Alabama were hit very hard by COVID. And Alabama has a less than impressive vaccination rate right now. Shocker, right? With the exception, I don't know who the fuck's not getting vaccinated in Alabama. I was going to blame Trump supporters, but there could be plenty of blame to go around. There could be a good number of vaccine hesitant Black people down there. I'm not exactly sure as to what the reasons are why vaccinations have slowed or have been so poor in the state of Alabama. But if we could please, Tunde, take a look at this package. I believe this is from NBC News 15, the Gulf Coast, baby. And they're, again, going to give a very slanted and biased report, slanted towards business owners, you know, slanted away from workers, slanted away from concerns of public health. Yeah, we understand the game, and we peep the shit from the media. But that's why we are here also, to call out the media on their bullshit and how they, in their reporting, basically do the reporting for the haves and not the have-nots. So Tunde, if we could please take a peek at that package from NBC News 15.
Yeah, that's right, Kim. And it seems like everywhere you go these days, you see the now hiring or join our team signs up in store windows. The state says that the want ads are up overall 40%, and it's even higher in certain sectors. As pandemic restrictions lifted, feeding the lunch rush at Roosters on Dolphin Street required more staff, which wasn't easy to come by, says owner Frankie Little.
It was just bringing in new people once we started to get really busy.
What have you done to be competitive?
I just actually raised wages for my staff, also more bonus incentive type stuff for my staff.
He's certainly not alone. Other restaurant owners say they've raised wages to attract more employees, but in some cases, that's still not enough. They've had to cut operating hours because they don't have enough workers. Today at a press conference in Huntsville, Governor Kay Ivey called in from the Capitol, saying she just met with Alabama's labor secretary and was concerned about too many businesses in the state struggling to find workers.
We still have way too many people who are being incentivized by the federal government to stay at home as opposed to getting back into the workforce.
Little says hiring in his industry has always been hard, but what's really concerning to him, unemployment fraud he knows firsthand is taking place.
We got a good handful of unemployment claims, some people that I've never heard of before, never worked here, and just think of how many of our tax dollars went to fraud.
The governor's office says there are more job openings now than prior to the pandemic, and it is giving the federal government on notice that it's time to get back to work.
The irony, gang, of the fucking governor having the audacity to make the announcement to tell people it's time to go back to work, and this nigga gonna phone it in. They put that nigga on speakerphone and held the speakerphone up like that was the press conference. Nigga, if you don't get your motherfucking ass out of here, Kay Ivey. Where to begin, y'all? The restaurant owner talking about, again, and I just want to be clear, y'all. I mean, we just watched two packages from two completely different places in the country, right? And they basically gave us the exact same spin, the exact same slant. Small business owners, restaurant owners, whatever, can't fill these jobs. So clearly it must be because the federal government is paying people too much money to stay home. Surely it can't be because the fucking pandemic is still raging out of control and we don't have a national healthcare system in this country. So guess what? If you get sick and your job, your part-time job at the restaurant as a server, line cook, chef, whatever, waitress, busboy, chances are those jobs don't give you healthcare insurance. So you are going to wholesale risk not only your life, but the life of the people that you encounter for this job. And I love it how they keep saying how in both those packages, both of the restaurant owners says, yeah, we even increased wages. Increased it to what? Like, can you tell us? Can you share? If you are offering such a competitive wage, tell everybody. This should be super easy for you to hire. But chances are that wage is not all that competitive, nor chances are it is not a living wage. So, the business community is having a difficult time trying to make the sales for people to get back to work when literally so many industries right now could be a life or death thing. Again, I mean, I am acquainted with someone personally who contracted COVID after being vaccinated. Now, in fairness, this person did not wait the allotted 2 weeks, I think, for the vaccine to fully kick in after receiving the second dose. They went to a public function, a wedding, where over a couple of dozen people actually contracted COVID, some of them even pretty seriously. But the point is, going out still in this pandemic, either with some protection or even no protection at all, or where there are many people who are unconcerned about either masking or getting vaccinated, right? Like, people aren't dumb, okay? We saw over this past year, damn near 600,000 people like lose their lives. And for what? For what? When they tried all of these haphazard closings and reopenings and reclosings, and okay, we're going to partially reopen. And then we saw the virus rate spike and then spike further northward. And it turned into scary, really just fucked up situation for like an entire year plus. Like, we're not out of this. And I'm so encouraged to see that people, workers specifically, are resisting the push out the door. Tunde, pop up that article about McDonald's, because guys, now they did this last year with I don't know how successful. I was going to say with different levels of success, but then I had to think and remember, like, I don't recall. But the fact that it's happening again is a good thing. So the people, the workers at McDonald's, you guys, I believe the day is going to be May 19th. May 19th. Do not patronize McDonald's, guys, because workers in 15 cities across the country, McDonald's workers, are going to strike for the $15 an hour minimum wage. And I think it's very important to note that some companies, even during the pandemic, did decide to raise wages for their workers, but they would give and then take back that hazard pay, right? Listen, guys, $15 an hour still, I hate to say it ain't shit, because it is something, right? It is a boost, but you would have to work like way longer than a 40-hour week. Like, even because I'm trying to put the shit in rent terms where I am, right? Where I am, y'all know where I am. Ask workers in DC, like, how well they manage on $15 an hour, right? It's not easy, because when you live in a high rent district, nigga, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. Not to mention, we're seeing increases in the price of food. Then this nonsense with this pipeline being shut down by the hackers, affecting about nearly half of the East Coast supply of gasoline. Mind you, the pipeline shut down, being hacked in spirit, in principle. I'm for this shit. Like, good, shut that shit down. But I understand gas prices are gonna go up. And of course, this being America, where would we be if we did not prioritize the price of gas? So people are being pinched, right? So that $15 an hour wage gets ate up real quick by rent, by groceries, by transportation. So the $15 an hour minimum wage is really obsolete before it even gets achieved, right? Like, it's already not a livable wage for people. I just get so mad sometimes, y'all. What you say, Stilly Steve, $15 an hour in Seattle or LA is nothing. Shorty. Yo, I can't even imagine. LA? Jesus. Seattle? Chicago? Y'all. New York? Come on now. Rent control, D. Will. I don't disagree with that. Yes, we need all of that. Colonial Pipeline, Big Teal says, the name says it all. Yes, exactly, which is why, like I said, in principle, in spirit, they hacked the pipeline, they shut down the old pipeline. Good, that sounds like a good thing. That sounds like a good thing in my book. piece I wanted to talk about today, in addition to the fact that, you know, Joe Biden and the Republicans always somehow come out singing the same song on key in unison, right? One way or the other, Joe Biden and the Republicans are going to find a way to find some common ground. But there was a piece of news that I saw last week that caught my attention. What is this? Yes. Okay. Someday, if you could, I'm trying to figure out which one. Can you pop up that's not the one. Hold on. Is it this one? I think it was the New York Times. The U.S. birth rate has dropped again. The pandemic may be accelerating the decline. Yes. And this, to me, is a story that needs a lot more scrutiny from so many different angles, right? So again, the birth rate in the United States dropped again in the year 2020, which probably should not come as a surprise to many, though it did come as a surprise to some, because there was some speculation that 2020 could have been a baby boom year, right? Since people were in the house, you know, they had nothing to do but hunch, right? They should have been hunching, but clearly, I don't know if people was hunching. Was y'all hunching? I didn't get too much hunching in, but regardless of whether or not they was hunching, they was taking precautions to make sure that said hunching did not result in a baby in the end of the month or at the end of the 9 months, right? So the birth rate dropped in 2020, but this has been the latest in a long decline of the birth rate in the United States. But I don't like the way that this is reported. And I'll tell y'all why. Because now I know, so the COVID shit is we almost got to throw 2020 away, y'all, because it's fucking up and skewing like so much data. Pardon me. And we know that in 2020, disproportionately, we lost a lot of Black and brown people, right? So just keep that in the back of your mind. Prior to the pandemic, though, the birth rate was going down per se, but that it was mainly going down amongst white people, right? Black people and brown people were pretty much holding their own in the baby making business. No, wait a minute. Hold on. There is something. Hold on. So I found this study, or this paper, as it were. Tunde, can you pop up the one that says white deaths exceed births in a majority U.S. states? Now this is done by some Bammers at the University of Wisconsin. This is what they call a census data brief by the Applied Population Lab. And this is from, I believe, 2017 or 2018, but it's referencing numbers from 2016. And what they found was that white deaths were exceeding white births, right? In about half of US states, 26 states. And this apparently has not happened in the history of the United States. Whites have been thriving pretty good up until recently. And the reasons for that vary, right? There's reasons for it, but the reasons are inconsequential at this very moment. Because when they talk about that the US birth rate is going down, what they mean is that white people are not populating at rates that Black and brown people are. Now, evidenced by this study, what this study found that in 2016, for example, in every single state in the country, Latinos were having kids, right? I know I'm not giving y'all like the fucking scientific lingo, but this is basically what the study says. It says basically in every state, Latinos were having kids no problem. Black people were having kids no problem, with the exception of one state, and that was in the state of West Virginia. African Americans had natural decline of population, which they count as, what they count is in the study is natural decline, being that the deaths exceed the births. So African Americans had natural decline in only one state, and that was in West Virginia in 2016, as did Asians and Pacific Islanders in Hawaii, which is a primarily Asian and Pacific Hawaiian Islander populated place, while Latino births exceeded deaths in every state. Latinos was rocking this shit out, right? They rocking these babies out. Black people basically rocking them babies out relative to the, replacing yourself in the labor force, etc. But so the issue about birth rates going down, it's that white people are not having babies, right? But why are birth rates down pretty much overall? Like, how are people being incentivized to have children in this current climate of capitalism, climate change, economic, basically obliteration? Shout out to Dr. Jared Ball. Dr. Jared Ball over there on Black Power Media says that, for example, Black wealth is going to be zero by the year 2050, right? So there's so many reasons that perhaps society could ameliorate in order to make people want to have children. But that is not being acknowledged in a lot of these studies, or when some of these studies are being parsed publicly. Like, they don't talk about how America doesn't have like paid parental leave. Like, that's a big fucking deal, right? Our European brethren and sistren can tell us, right? Like, I think in France, they get a year off, mothers do. A year. With their salary paid, what, 60 or 70%? I'd have a baby if somebody would pay my salary 60 or 70%, and I knew, you know what I mean? Like, that's basically guaranteed income. Like, who wouldn't want to have a baby under those conditions? But in the US, if you don't work, you don't get paid. And beyond 6 to 8 weeks, your job doesn't have to pay you. That's if you're a salaried employee. What do you do if you're hourly? You just be shit out of luck. And not to mention that in the US, fairly unique in the world, yes, where you have a bill in the multi-thousands for your child on day one. Like, you are in the hole financially with your baby the day your baby is born in the hospital. It's preposterous. I mean, people around the world look at us so fucking crazy. Like, what do you mean it's $10 to $15,000 for you to have a baby? Like, people don't even understand that, because it's not logical. It doesn't make any sense. Now, some people might also say that in some of the countries that also have these very generous, parental leave and healthcare, funded by the state, et cetera, where it's universal healthcare, that those birth rates are also down also. That is correct. And some of that I would attribute wholly to climate change. I won't say nobody. People, some are being at least a bit more conscious, right? I know people have been saying for generations, what kind of world are you bringing these children into? But no, millennials are like, no, seriously, nigga. What kind of world are we bringing these children into? And the millennials are saying hard pass, hard pass, hard pass, because doesn't seem to be any urgency, right? Like, there's no urgency from the federal governments, plural, really, around the world to really address climate change. All they want to do is give high fives to terrible people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk for trying to colonize Mars. It's so backwards. I hate it here so bad, y'all. I hate it here so fucking bad. I'll tell you why. because we spend billions and trillions of dollars exploring space, trying to find life. Meanwhile, Earth is the primary, nigga, we the only game in our whole fucking neighborhood. In the whole solar system, there is nothing that rivals the amount of life on the planet Earth. And we are facing a mass extinction of not only mammals, but insects, birds. It's fucking crazy. And these motherfuckers is like, yeah, man, we're going to go find life 100 light years away. Does that make any goddamn sense? It makes no goddamn sense. We could be preserving life right here on the best game in town, right? Like humans, there is nothing better than Earth for humans. And yet the powers that be, the elites, the Jeff Bezoses, the Elon Musks are trying to tell you that no, Mars, Mars is where it's at. Mars ain't even got no fucking beaches. Make it make sense. Make it make fucking sense. The birth rate is down is because people are hip. Capitalism is not a winning game plan for happiness, right? It's not a winning game plan if you want to have a happy, healthy, thriving family, right? Capitalism requires that you basically institutionalize your children in school as a form of, that's state-funded childcare right there. Public school, right? Where they get to teach your kids that Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton was the greatest niggas on earth. Incorrect. Incorrect. Give me my goddamn kid back, school. Shit. I ain't got my kid off of this bullshit. But yes, capitalism is fucking everything up. And why would you, if you had a choice or if you were extremely conscious, like I know there's a lot of us, there's a lot of 30 and 40 something out here, people who don't have kids. And it's not by accident. It's not, listen, but I was about to say something kind of crass, but then I remember my mother was watching. So maybe I'll say the crass thing a little later. But listen, us old people or us aunties and uncles, childless aunties and uncles, it ain't because we can't find a willing participant, okay? It's because it's a lot of goddamn responsibility out here to have children, and it's hard enough to take care of myself, and if I'm gonna have a kid, I gotta counteract all the bullshit they're being taught in school, or I gotta homeschool them, but fuck, how am I gonna work and homeschool a kid? Decisions, right? Oh, well, if I go to work as a woman and as a Black woman, I get the benefit of being paid next to last, right? Like, come on now, make it make sense, people. I can't do it. I'm not saying I can't. If I had a rich nigga, but think about it. but I don't, so I ain't. What's up, y'all? Oh my goodness, y'all are hilarious out here. Y'all know why people aren't having kids, or at least some people aren't having kids, but the whites need to be concerned. I can understand why white people are concerned about the numbers, because I guess shit's been hard on white people. I don't know why white people aren't repopulating themselves. But let me say this though, as a childless person, really, again, I'm childless by choice. I'm not childless for lack of options, but that's what motherfuckers say. Oh, you can't find nobody, bitch. Please, don't. No, that is not the reason. God damn it! And the phone started ringing, and now I done forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. No, I just remember what I was gonna say. So, as a childless person, really, me not having children is my special fuck you to capitalism and fuck you to this country. Because I am not replacing myself in the labor force. So have fun, America. With a shortage of workers and people going forward in the future, because I'm not giving y'all my children to get out here and exploit. And please, if you do have children, please raise them up and teach them early on that number one, tell them that John Brown is a hero. of the highest order in this country. Happy belated birthday to the whole big homie John Brown, by the way. But tell them that there is better things for them than capitalism in America, and teach your kids that there is a big world out here, honey. And please go out here and find your corner of it where you will be exploited the least and can appreciate all that the beautiful natural world has to offer. And hopefully the state won't kill your black and brown beautiful body. So there's that. Oh shit, we got 105 people up in this biatch. What's going on, Pippins? Pippins? I'm so happy to see y'all in the place. I unfortunately am sober today. It's a travesty. I, for one, am extremely disappointed that I did this entire hour pretty much on the sober, because I had smoked a J earlier, but that was earlier. I wanted to do my gummy with y'all to see if I could still try to maintain a semi-cogent train of thought whilst under the influence of a gummy. If we don't have a guest on Friday, perhaps we should try that Friday. Maybe we should all be on edibles together. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That sounds like a fantastic idea. What's up, Rain to Sud? Rain to Sud, okay, coming through. Beautiful thought here. Rain to Sud says, being childless is a radical stance. Mine are homeschool and not to be fucking played with, not providing them targets or letting them demonize babies. That is, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, Rain to Sud. I am so proud. And again, if you're not able to homeschool your kids, I'm not shitting on you. I'm not. I get it. I had to go to public school and it was terrible. But for those y'all who are able to homeschool your kids, I am like so proud of you and like so in awe of you, because I know that's not easy, right? And I know, I mean, it's so frustrating that as adults, like, we have to unlearn the shit that we learned in school, right? But imagine if you never learned that bullshit, right? Imagine if you were taught the truth, right? I hate to be so general and, broad, but if you were taught the truth, from the jump, shit might have been clearer to you at a way younger age, right? Like because so many things that we were taught in public school, like in your stomach, right? In your whole gut, in your heart, you were like, man, I don't know about this shit. I don't know about this shit. This shit ain't sounding right. It don't sound like the truth. That's the funny thing about the truth also, is that you know it when you hear it, right? It lands, it rings, it resonates. And when you don't hear the truth, you got to give that shit the scrunch face, like, I don't know about that, nigga. I don't know about that. Oh, girl, Ursula. Thank you, Ursula. Listen, y'all, we've got a bunch of, wait, hold on. Yes, to Ursula's comment. I'm sorry. I'm acknowledging comments and reading them in my head and meaning to read them out loud. Ursula Baptiste says, public education is mass propaganda, 100,000%. Anna Hart says, my nephews and nieces get public school, and then they come home with questions and get reality. Right. Right. So good luck there, America, trying to get, here's the thing. In terms of the birth rate going down, okay, America could easily fix the problem with its birth rate by what? Allowing in more immigrants. Thank you, everybody. Yes, America doesn't have to worry about a declining population if America would perhaps consider for just a moment, stop being so goddamn racist and make its immigration policies as open and as liberal as they were when all of the Europeans' ancestors were coming over to Ellis Island, right? Thank you very much, Radical Leftist Agenda. You are so... Thank you for your next bag of whatever you can get for $20 minus what YouTube takes. Listen, we will take your $20, Radical Leftist Agenda, and we will find a mind-altering substance within that price range, my dear. Your support is deeply appreciated. Thank you very much. God damn it. fuck was I talking about? Shit. And I'm not even high. See, that's just me being old now. And that happens to all of our younger viewers. It is indeed coming for you one of these here days. But y'all, capitalism is going to end up eating itself, right? There's not going to be enough people to exploit by the elites, right? And trust me, if the robots could have replaced all of these workers, as these corporations and business magnates have been threatening us for a long time, that the robots will replace so-called low-skilled positions, bitch, don't threaten us with a good time. Roll them robots out then, chief. If them robots is so fucking hot shit, where them robots at? How come them robots ain't back there line cooking? How come them robots ain't out here taking some of these hourly jobs that these folks, or at least the business community, seems to say that they can't find workers to fill. So be encouraged, guys, that people are fed up, taking matters into their own hands. I don't know what the response from the upper crust will be. But it is apparent that the political class is here 100% to back the business. Joe Biden, GOP governors, everybody in between are here to make y'all asses get back out to work. And I say y'all because I ain't got no job, Tommy. Me and my job parted ways some months ago. And if Larry Hogan, poke ass, the governor of Maryland, if he even think about talking that bullshit about refusing the federal unemployment supplement, like, I'm gonna be posted up outside of Annapolis. Everybody going to Annapolis. We're gonna do like Richie Sergenko and the People City Council. We're going right down to the governor's mansion and be like a sign that says, "Now wait a minute, motherfucker." Says, no. I'm able to handle my business. You know what I'm saying? Like we not buying Gucci bags or nothing ridiculous, but the rent is paid, the utilities are paid, the dogs got food. You dig? Like I'm not out here stressing myself trying to pound the pavement in the middle of a pandemic, trying to beat myself into getting back into somebody's office, man. Can't. It's new time, y'all. Game change. Like 2020, it marks a shift. Like the space-time continuum line took a 40-degree turn, baby. Like shit changed. And I think that we need to use that momentum to keep our foot on the necks of those in power, right? Joe Biden, whoa, Tasia, whoa, stop. Oh my gosh, come on. Thank you, Tasia. Tasia said, buy some top tier green. I appreciate your message and you are inspiring. That is so kind. Tasia, is that US dollars? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Because shout out, we've gotten some donations in some Danish kroner before and some Canadian dollars. So I'm just fucking with you, Tasia. But listen, anything that's so incredibly generous of you. Thank you. We really, really appreciate that. Y'all are nice. Y'all are hilarious. I'm sorry. I briefly lost my chain of thought. And like I said, I got high way, way earlier. So perhaps this is a sign. We're going to call it a night, y'all. I'm so happy that you all came back. Like, there was some discussion amongst the crew, like, are people going to actually come back to the show? Like, since we took a week off, but y'all came back, man. That's what's happening. And it's so appreciated. We're going to keep rocking over here. There's a lot of shit I want to get into this week and hopefully next week. And we are awaiting to see if some people get back to us. And if they do, we will have them on to bring it to you. And if they don't, we all shall get high together and say a pox on both their houses, a pox on both their houses. Listen, guys, that is the show. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already signed up to be a subscriber. All you have to do is hit subscribe. Subscribe. That's it. Hit subscribe. Hit that like button. Thank you, Chuck Diesel. I appreciate you in the chat. Hyping us up, telling people, to support. We appreciate it. Don't forget, you can look. Oh, first of all, thank you. Everybody say thank you, Tunde, in the chat. Look at what Tunde has done. Tunde has revamped our look. We got some new shiny graphics and shit. We out here looking way more official in these YouTube screens. So thank you, Tunde, for the overhaul of our look, and we're going to continue to do things to improve, and all that is possible by your very generous donations and super chats. And for all of our patrons, thank you all so much. The Patreon has been growing, and I'm just over the moon about it. Patreon.com/BIDWKB. If you want to get in, you can do so on the low of $2. Somebody is running us a nice little bit of change, y'all. And it's Susan. Thank you, Susan. Susan, I hope that wasn't a mistake, what you did. But if it was, we understand and we appreciate the sentiment. But if it was not a mistake and you intended to do that, we are deeply, 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 deeply grateful, Susan. So thank you very much for your support. Shanette, Courtney, the SLP, Black Magic, y'all know what it is. Rain DeSud, Talisha Conklin, y'all already know. Anna Hart, Alicia Afraid Not, Rain DeSud, all my people. Who else? Where are my men's friends? There we go. Where's Pookie Wood? There go Pookie Wood. Guy Shaw, everybody. Y'all know who the crew is. So we will see y'all back here on Friday for the latest edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. FYI, Wednesday and Thursday mornings, you can catch me on the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media. I love hanging out with the Remix Morning Show crew. The Luke Mons, Kalanji Changa, Dr. Jared Ball, Kamal Franklin, the Ear Doctor, and everybody else that hops in there. So join us tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time over on Black Power Media for the Remix Morning Show. I will be hanging out Wednesday and Thursday morning. So we will see y'all over there. But if not, I will see y'all back here on Friday. Thank you all so much. Y'all motherfuckers rock. Y'all all my niggas. Even the white niggas. Y'all my niggas too. and everybody who is non-black and non-white. I don't know all the demographic breakdown, but I fucks with y'all because y'all fucks with us. And we thank you so much. And we will see y'all back here Friday. See y'all later. Bye-bye.